Before we begin, a quick note. This podcast is a space for storytelling, shared experiences, and community. The views shared are personal and not medical, legal, or professional advice. If you're navigating a situation that requires professional support, please seek guidance from a qualified expert. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and most importantly, take care of yourself. Before the stories begin, why this podcast exists. I had a realization in 2019 that my life was about to change. I didn't realize how dramatically different my existence would be, but I knew I was in for something different, uncomfortable, and stressful. I had been in this type of role with my dad prior to this, but the level of engagement and sacrifice would not compare to where I am now. Here I was, the height of my career, building my family, and getting the news that my loved one has an incurable disease. I'm your host, Jackee de Lagarde, a wife, mother, and executive in the fashion industry, and the primary caregiver to my 82-year-old mom who's living with PSP, a rare degenerative disease. Like so many people, I didn't step into this role intentionally. It found me. This is who cares about me, and this is part one of why this podcast exists. Part one, the why. My mom, Violet, and I are extremely close. She's been a huge inspiration to me all my life, and I love this woman so much. So when my husband Clarence and I were about to have our son Jack, we asked her if she'd like to live with us to help raise him. So in 2013, when my son was born, she officially became part of our little family. It was a beautiful opportunity for my son to grow up with his last living grandparent. She was your typical doting grandmother, but she was also a no-nonsense West Indian woman who didn't take any lip, demanded respect, and showed my son how to be a respectful, loving child. She shared tips on parenthood with me and Clarence, and was there for us when we needed an occasional date night. We built so many beautiful memories together. During this time, I had gained another label to add to my generation besides Gen X, a term called the sandwich generation, which refers to middle-aged adults who are not only raising their own children, but supporting aging parents mentally, physically, and financially. Fast forward to early May of 2019, and my mom had fell in the basement. She nonchalantly told us she fell, but said she was not hurt. A few weeks later, we were sitting down at dinner as a family, talking about the Memorial Day party we were having with friends and neighbors that weekend. We are a family of entertainers and hosts, and it's our love language. And I feel a part of my DNA to have parties, entertain, and make sure there's great music, everyone has a cocktail, and is fed. During our conversation, something wasn't right, and she said she was feeling wonky. She used that term when she wasn't feeling well sometimes, so she looked tired, and I could tell something was off. The next day, as we were preparing and prepping for the party, I noticed she looked really tired and again said she was feeling wonky. So we decided to take her to the ER to see what was going on. Turns out she had a mini stroke. The doctor said it was mild and that she would have a full recovery once she was out of the hospital. After a week, she was back home, and we thought things were going to be back to normal. The only medical issue she dealt with was an outpatient surgery on her bladder to remove a tiny tumor in the fall of 2020. But after that, things started to change. She started to fall a lot. My husband Clarence and I were so hyper aware of the sound of her falling, it became a phantom noise to us. We were always on high alert. One day, Clarence took her to get her COVID vaccine, and as he was walking her to the vaccine station set up in a parking lot of a drugstore, he turned away from her for no more than 3 seconds, and she fell backwards, out of the blue. From there, she started using a cane. We added grab bars around the stairs and in her bathroom. We also saw numerous neurologists during this time until we finally found one that knew what was happening. PSP, progressive supranuclear palsy, a rare progressive neurodegenerative disease affecting walking, balance, eye movement, and cognition due to a tau protein buildup in the brain. It's often mistaken for Parkinson's, but it progresses much faster and causes early falls, stiff movements, and swallowing difficulties with no known cure. All I could think about was why? Why her? Why now? Why our family? She gave so much to so many people, family, friends, colleagues. She didn't deserve this. This podcast is for caregivers, the ones showing up every day, the ones doing their best without a roadmap. And this season, you're going to hear from some really dynamic, altruistic, special people who are living this caregiver life in many different ways. Taking care of mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, and more, on top of the numerous responsibilities they have in their day-to-day life, all while silently asking, who's taking care of me? Who cares about me? Stay tuned for part 2 and 3 of my story later in the season. In the meantime, check out our first episode, When Caregiving Finds You, with our guest, Lori Stokes, launching March 31st, 2026. Thank you everyone for listening. Take care.